Bye, Jesse. Bye, Jesse. Off to ground school. Working on getting his pilot's license. What kind of trouble should Alyssa get into while Jesse's gone? So this winter, instead of just wasting our lives away working in the cabin, 24/7, working on our businesses, Jesse and I decided to each pick something we could do to further our skills. Jesse chose to enroll in ground school. Getting his pilot's license is something that he's always wanted to do, and we feel like that will open up the doors for a lot of opportunity for our family. If you missed the video where we talk about plane stuff, watch it right here. It's pretty fun. I, on the other hand, I'm much more of a land critter. Something I've been wanting to do for quite some time now is enroll in the Master Gardener's course. Look at the size of this baby, can you believe it? Why am I taking this course? Well, a lot of reasons. For one, Jesse and I have this entire property to develop, so while gardening isn't our first priority this year, I do think there's a lot of stuff that's really great to keep in mind as you're developing your property. And in this case, instead of just going all out with planting a garden, there's a lot I've already learned that I want to take into consideration, so I feel that it's really great to start getting your hands on some of this knowledge before it's needed. To be honest, I thought it was going to be all about vegetable gardening, and that's a really small portion of the course. I'm going to read some of these tab binders so you can see some of the other things that the Master Gardener's course entails. Introduction to horticulture, basic botany, plant propagation, soil and fertilizers.
Pesticide management and safety, basic entomology, insect management, rodents, birds and other pets, plant disease, diagnosis and management, weeds, turf grass establishment and management, landscaping, woody ornamentals, herbaceous ornamentals, vegetable culture, vegetables, fruit trees, small fruits, houseplants, in-home greenhouses, organic gardening.
I don't care who you are, that's a lot of information. Going into this course, I didn't know exactly how it would benefit us or if it would benefit us within, say, the next year. One of the gems I took away is that there actually is a natural way to control obnoxious weed. We actually did a video on it, but the whole time our sound didn't record, but we actually have knapweed all over our property. It's a noxious weed, and it's really our responsibility to ourselves and our neighbors to get rid of it. And this year, we didn't know what to do. We weren't aware of a natural, quick way to control this problem before it went to weed. We had an organic farmer come in, and she said that she got rid of knapweed on her property completely within 3 years simply by planting a cover crop. The idea of cover crops is something I'm really excited about. I mean, I've kind of heard of the idea, but I didn't really realize the practicality of it, and I thought it was something that only large farmers did. It wasn't a tool for home use. As you can see here, these are the notes that I took from when this kind woman spoke in our class, and she had all sorts of recommendations for cover crops. We do have to check that the cover crop we want to plant isn't a broadleaf. We used a broadleaf herbicide to control the knapweed this year called Milestone. But basically, we don't feel that all hope is ruined. We do feel that we can resort to a more organic method of weed control. And just in case you're wondering, we didn't get that stuff near the garden. Here you see our future garden site. Last year, while we had the backhoe, we actually dug a bunch of footings, and I put in these stakes, which we can then fence around. So you see over here, this is some of the material that we're hoping to use for our raised beds. We're gonna put raised beds around the entire perimeter of the garden, and then we'll probably also have a raised bed in the middle. We're probably gonna make these about 2 feet deep or so. That's so this post here can be covered up all the way. And I think one thing Master Gardeners has taught me this year is that it's okay to simply have a year where you just work on your soil. So I think this year, if we can simply get our raised beds built and maybe get some soil in there and then work on adding compost and mulch and maybe even planting a cover crop, I think that would be a really, really great year for us. I think with gardening, a lot of people are really hesitant to start because while it is simple, you can just stick a seed in the ground to see if it grows. That's actually what we did last year. It can be a lot more complicated, and if you go to the internet and go to YouTube, there's just a lot of information out there to make you feel like you're doing it wrong. So I'm here to say that it's perfectly okay if you take baby steps, and that's what we're doing. Over time, it's our goal to have a large, flourishing, productive garden, but we don't expect that overnight. One of the challenges we had with our garden last year was watering the garden. We're extremely busy and we didn't have time to run 1 million pails of water back and forth, and it really wasn't ideal to blast it with a hose 20 feet away. That probably washed a lot of our seedlings away. This year we hope to finish our water system, and we're gonna bring a pipe down here, and hopefully we're gonna have a spigot right next to the garden. This should allow us to hook up a soaker hose and should give us a lot more options with watering, and potentially we can automate it. We actually already did a video on composting. It's really just composting 101. Watch that right here if you haven't seen it yet. We talked about composting for about 3 hours in class today. And even if you know a lot on the subject, I feel like when someone new talks about it, you always take a thing or two away. Last year, we took a really low maintenance approach to our compost pile, and we actually had some pretty decent compost by the end of the summer. However, winter hath come and gone, and our compost piles have been sitting under snow for about 3 months. So really quickly, while Jesse's gone, just to fool him into thinking that I was productive, I'm gonna go ahead and try to break up that pile a little bit, and then I'm probably gonna add some more of these leaves on here just to give it a little bit more body. I don't know. Let's see how she goes. Someone's feeling out of shape. I don't know if you could see this or not, but it's pretty much a compost brick, so I don't know. I can't tell if there's ice in there. I don't think so, or it's just really, really compacted. The nice thing is that there's absolutely zero stench, and based on the amount of compacted leaves that I'm seeing, we probably don't have too much nitrogen. So far, finding mass quantities of nitrogen has been proving to be a challenge. I don't know, what do you guys think? Does a pile on your, hold on, let me think about this. Does a pile on your left look better? Or your right? If I didn't know any better, I think that that pile looks a little bit more fluffy. Oh, hey little broccoli do. What are you doing out of your pile? Get back in there. The broccoli tried to run away. Hopefully that'll teach it. I'm gonna take a little bit of a breather and show you guys one more composting project we've been working on that we haven't really talked about yet. Yes, all the way back here in the dungeon. What the heck is that thing? This is our worm composting bin. And if you take a good look in there, there's a lot of rotten vegetable scraps, and I don't see much worm movement. Ugh. Lesson learned this year. If you're gonna do worm composting, you need a warmer place than we had this winter to keep them from freezing. Duh, right? Before this froze, this was pretty neat because we had a bunch of little red wigglers in there, and they would simply eat some of our leftover veggie scraps. Nice thing about the worm farm is it makes worm tea. And wow, this stuff is very, very scenty. I don't know if you can see in there. Anyone want a straw? I do have to tell you, people pay a premium for worm tea at the farmer's market. Alright guys, I'm done. That's a pretty nice introduction to spring. I mean, it could have been worse. I could have been working all day. I would say churning the compost pile, it's definitely not my least favorite chore. But I also have to admit, this is the largest that it's ever been, and it was definitely a workout. I feel like I got a little pinch in my back at the moment. To me, this looks a lot more fluffy than what we started with. I think it's nice to introduce a little bit of oxygen to the pile. Here she is, pretty empty. Don't look at that stuff in the corner. Got lazy. It got a little bit smelly the lower I went. There's some pretty foul layers in there. I like to call it compost tiramisu. We've known each other for a while, guys, so it's okay to show stuff like this on camera, right? Multiple people have confirmed that it's okay to stick deer poop into your compost pile. And apparently, if it's pelleted poop, as in it's in those cute little pebbles and not those big monstrous like drops like cow poop, apparently you can put it straight on your garden. Horse pooping at a gas station in 60p. Go.
4K poop.
If I get desperate, I'm coming back to you. Another thing I have to say that I like about the Master Gardener's course is it's a group of local gardeners, and every gardener or farmer has given us a list of their favorite varieties of vegetables. And I have to say, after hearing some of their suggestions, I don't know that I'll be going down to Lowe's or Home Depot to buy their standard seed packets. See the deer? Look at it. Shh. Hey dear. I think the internet's great, but I think we can't forget that a classroom environment with real live human beings, that could be really great too. And that's something that the Master Gardener's course has brought to me. And also, you're hearing information from gardeners with years of experience. So when in doubt, you know who you're talking to actually does have experience. When you read things on the web, you don't always know, and you don't know that all that information is the best for your situation or for your area. Becoming a master gardener isn't just about spending a lot of time in the classroom and studying a lot about gardening, landscaping, landkeeping, things like that. It's also about helping others in the community. So that's something I'm actually really excited about. To fulfill your obligation and become a master gardener, you technically need, I think, 30 hours of community service and then do a certain amount of community service every year after your first year. And I'm really excited for that portion. I have no idea the types of relationships I can make and the people that I can help. So whether it's helping other people with their plant problems and their gardening problems, or helping out at the local community garden, or even delivering food to the food bank, I'm really excited for those opportunities, and I think it's a really great way to get involved and make a positive contribution to the community. Hey, what are you doing up there? Bugaboo. Boogaboo. Hey. All right, time to clean up and make some dinner. This one's hungry. Okay, this is really gross. So, I don't remember there being floating stuff in here last time I checked, so I decided to give it a little wiggle-roo. And do you see all that stringy stuff? Those are the dead worms, I'm pretty sure. Freaking nasty, right? Anyone want my worm tea? Beef patties smothered in red currant pepper jam, homemade, canned this summer, roasted vegetables with my favorite seasoning, water kefir, flavored with a fresh Meyer lemon, and more pepper jam. This, my friends, is a dinner fit for a queen. Jesse's missing out.